Okay, so this is our agenda. CDC basics, clock domain crossing basics. What is clock domain crossing and what is CDC? Okay, and what is clock domain? What is synchronous and what is asynchronous? All those things we'll discuss here. And next thing is clock domain crossing problems and solutions. So what problems we'll face when we are crossing from one clock domain to other clock domain? So how to fix them? Like what are the solutions available? And so I have captured only few problems here. Okay, so then issues in CDC flow, like when you are setting up the flow, what inputs we have to provide and how you will face the issues and all those things we'll discuss here. And next thing is constraints versus waivers. So there will be constraints as well as waivers for CDC tool. So so what is the best case to use, like either constraints or waivers? So what is recommended? Okay, so what is the benefit of using constraints or waivers? Okay, we will discuss that also. And capturing design intent in CDC constraints. So how we are going to capture design intent in CDC constraints? Like let's say we want to do some CDC analysis for particular block. What and all we have to capture to get accurate results? Okay, there are inputs, outputs, clocks, resets, some other cases, right? So what and all we have to consider. So then only our results will be proper. So those things also will capture here. Okay, this is our agenda. And the first thing is CDC basics. So why we are doing CDC and why what is CDC means most of the complex designs have more than one clock. So earlier, like if you see some 10 years back or something before, so there are IPs like and SOCs like working on a one particular clock, and that is also very slow clocks. Okay, so nowadays if you see all SOCs, right, it is like having some 20 30 like hundreds of IPs, some 20 30 subsystems and hundreds of IPs, right? So each IP and different IPs working on different clock frequency, and those are asynchronous to each other. So many of these clocks are asynchronous. So DDR will be there in the same chip, and USB is there, PCI is there, and different IPs will be there, right? And so those are working on different frequencies, and those are asynchronous to each other. For these designs, the logic clocked by each asynchronous clock forms a clock domain. So when you take design, right? So what and all clocks, so clocks will have like all the flops. Let's say there is a flip flops, right? A set of flip flops. So set of flip flop getting a particular clock. Okay, so all these flops comes under one design, right? So we will make it as this is one. We will call it as this is one clock domain. Whatever the logic is clocked by one particular clock, which is asynchronous to other uh, design. So we call it as asynchronous clocks forms the clock domain. We call it as a clock domain. When you say clock domain, so it is particular logic which is clocked by one particular clock, which can be synchronous or asynchronous. So when you say asynchronous clocks in our CDC, so whenever it is asynchronous clock, we will make it as a clock domain. So all synchronous will make it a one clock domain. Okay, here the clock domain is nothing but so a logic clocked by each asynchronous clocks forms a clock domain for the clock. So logic entirely inside a clock domain can be verified with the same approach as that a single clock design. So so let's say there is a IP. So that IP having only one clock. So means inside entirely inside that logic only one clock is going inside, right? So you can treat it as a single clock. Okay, or else if two clocks are coming and those are synchronous to each other, you know that the the phase difference, all those things, and you know that these are synchronous, so you can treat it as single clock design, those things. However, problems arise from signals that connect logic in different clock domains. The main problems occur so when different clock domains are connecting. So from IPA to IPB, there are signals crossing from IPA to IPB and IPB to IPA, and the feeding clock to the IPA and IPB are different. So then these are two different clock domains. Then you will see some problems. Signals that crosses clock domain boundaries must be properly synchronized. So whenever you say clock domain, those are asynchronous, right? So whenever a signal crossing from one domain to other domain, so you have to take in care. So you must use some synchronizers. So depend on the situation. Okay, so they must obey all relevant transfer protocols. So they have to follow some protocols. If you are using some synchronizer, it should be a standard cell, and it should so there are some protocols. When you use like particular this thing, so it will check it is satisfying all the rules or not. So if not, it will throw the violation like this is like this. So the process of verifying these requirements is clock domain crossing. So whenever some signals crossing from one clock domain to other clock domain, there will be problems. So you will use one particular technique. So even that particular technique, whatever you have used, is it correct or not? Okay, so even you can use also. So after using also, is that correct method or a different method? By using that, you can avoid. Okay, you can avoid that this CDC problem or not. So this all process of verifying these requirements is called clock domain crossing. Okay, so next thing is what is clock domain. So as we discussed, like each asynchronous clock say forms a clock domain. So a clock domain is a section of that as a clock asynchronous to or which has a phase variable relationship to another clock in the design. In the design, so there are different clocks. Okay, so the clocks can be same frequency also. They are running it like they are same frequency, but there is a variable phase difference. Okay, so there is no fixed phase relation between these two clocks, even though those are same frequency. Okay, so those two treated as a asynchronous clocks. There are different cases to tell which is asynchronous and which is synchronous. So for example, suppose one clock is derived from another clock through a clock divider. These two clocks have constant phase relationship. Therefore, the two sections of the design that use these clocks are really part of the same clock domain, which means synchronous. So let's say divide by two clock is there. So what we'll do? So when we are using like let's say 100 megahertz clock, which will divide into 50 megahertz, right? So there is a fixed phase relationship in between these two. Okay, you have taken care that particular thing means these two like clock and clock by two called as a synchronous clock. Let's say this clock is going to some of the design and this clock by two is going to the some other design. If there is a connection between these two clock means we will treat as a same clock domain, since these are the derived clocks. So we can't say all derived clocks are synchronous. So only the thing is here, so the relationship between these two clocks means phase relation should be fixed. Otherwise, if it is a variable means we don't know right where it can occur. Okay, if it is occurring at particular edges, so it will change. So exactly the phase should be same, like fixed, not same, fixed. Okay. However, suppose two clocks have frequencies of 50 megahertz and 33 megahertz. These clocks phase relationships change over time. Therefore, they clocks two different clock domains. They, so this 33 megahertz and 50 megahertz, these are not fixed, right? Like let's say this 50 megahertz, different time period will be there, and this is different time period will be there. Okay, so even though different frequency also, and it is occurring some fixed phase means we can say it. So we can't say so here these two clocks can occur fixed, like say after 3 4 clock cycles the phase will be same. If it is like that, we can say these are synchronous, we can treat it as synchronous. But in this example I'm just telling like 50 megahertz and 33 megahertz, there is a phase difference in between these two clocks, so that's why these two will treat as different clock domains. Okay, whenever a signal crossing from 50 megahertz domain to and 33 megahertz, we have to do the CDC and we will catch what are the issues and we have to fix it. And next thing is just I want to show you some example here. So when you say clock, this particular clock is feeding to this register as well as this register. Okay, so this is, let's say, divide by 2 clock and we are getting clocked by 2 and this is feeding to this particular thing. But this is, let's say this is all in the same design and this particular signal is going to same logic and this is also going to same. So since this is this clock, okay, clock by 2 is derived from clock and these are having fixed phase relationship between these two, we can call it synchronous. So this is treated as a single clock domain. Okay, so and next thing is multiple clock domains. There is a PLL. Okay, so PLL, phase lock loop, so which will generate the clocks, okay, based on reference clock frequency. Okay, there is a 33 megahertz clock and the 50 megahertz clock, and this is feeding to different register of different design and different set of registers, and this is feeding to different set of registers, and these two logic are communicating, like there are signals from crossing from this design to or this logic to this logic. So where we can treat at this is different clock domain and this is different clock domain, we can treat as different clock domain, but still these are synchronous or asynchronous will we will decide based on this PLL. So how, what is the reference to the PLL and how it is generating? Is there any phase relation between? So what is the relation between this clock 33 and clock 50? Based on that, we'll make it asynchronous or synchronous. But based on this clock and feeding to the logic and this scenario, so we'll make it multiple clock domains. So this is single clock domain. This is multiple clock domain. We can, this is not asynchronous clock domain. So when you say asynchronous clock domain, this the reference to this particular registers don't know, right? So from where what is the source of this? This can be different PLL and this can be different PLL. So PLL, so different PLLs means absolutely these are asynchronous. Okay, so then we can call it as asynchronous clock domains, asynchronous clocks. Okay, so this reference can be anything, this reference can be anything. So this is feeding to different logic and this is feeding to different logic, so we can make it as a different clocks and different logic, so different clock domains. Okay, so this is also different clock domains, but still we can't say these are asynchronous. But here, so the source is different, then we are treating it as a asynchronous clock domains. So these two are asynchronous clock. So you got it right. What is the difference between single clock domain, multiple clock domains, and asynchronous clock domains? Okay, this is very important when you enter into the CDC problems. You should understand that what is clock domain and what is synchronous clocks and what is asynchronous clocks, how we are going to divide these domains. So while constraining the design intent for the CDC, you should know what and